Hey guys, topic I want to cover with you that I get a lot of questions on, but sometimes it's just in different ways. But overall, what is a stock, ETF, and mutual fund? What's the difference? So let me start out with how they really operate. Stock, you get exposure to a company. If you want to own Disney, go buy a share of Disney. I've got ownership in it. Okay, small piece, but I got some. You can buy 100 shares of it, of anything, or 50 or 25, whatever you want. Different companies, if you have money you want to diversify into different companies, you would just go buy the stock. Sometimes, a great example is biotech, small cap, mid cap, international. Maybe sometimes we don't know where to put our money in those specific sectors. So then ETF comes into play. So ETF is an exchange traded fund. That exchange traded fund is a basket of whatever you're trying to buy. So it may be small caps. Well, I don't know tons of small cap companies on the top of my head. Most of the time we know the big boys because they're always in the news, or they're the big companies, Facebook, Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft. And so when we go to buy ETF, we can use that to get exposure over in Asia and for international play, or into Europe. We can be very specific with where we want that exposure to be. Precious metals, we can do it in small cap, healthcare, financial companies. So ETFs give you the ability to buy more shares of a specific sector than you would go out and maybe find it yourself. So that's how an ETF can work. That's kind of the basis of it. There's a lot of other ones. Everybody offers one, it feels like, so there's a bunch out there. They all do something different. And then there's mutual funds. Mutual funds are with different companies, same concept, but mutual funds usually have an account manager, a portfolio manager that's overseeing that. So if I'm going to go put $5,000 into JP Morgan's ABCD fund, that fund is going to give me exposure to all mid-cap, right? They're focused on the mid-cap, U.S. mid-cap equities. They're trying to find different places they can make the money grow. So that's fine. That manager is going out and doing the work that maybe I don't want to do. If I want to go look for a mid-cap ETF, I got to look for 50 of them, figure out which one's the best. The mutual fund kind of does that on your behalf. Mutual funds, by and large, have a lot of positions, 20, 30 positions at times. And if you're putting $5,000 there to spread it out over 30 positions, sometimes can be too much. ETFs are concentrated. They may have maybe 10 companies that are exposed to that ETF. And then stocks obviously just have one. So let me finish it up with this. Let me finish it up with the expenses. Stocks have basically no expense. Okay, you just buy it. ETFs, they're going to have an expense that could be, it's called an expense ratio, 0.04. I've seen that a lot, 0.05, that's common. You can get up into 0.25%. So basically every dollar you're putting in there is getting feed at 0.25%. And then mutual funds have a much higher, in practicality, much higher. They're not always, but much higher expense ratios, 0.45, 0.8, 0.65, stuff like that. So they're going to be a much more expensive product to own or investment to put your money into. ETFs are cheaper, but again, those are usually satellites. And then stocks, let's say we buy 10 of those, 10 different companies. We buy 4 or 5 ETFs, we've got exposure. So that's kind of how stocks, ETFs, and mutual funds break down. That's how they work. That's the differences in them. How we use them is going to be in the next video in a bucket strategy. I'm going to walk through kind of how these things can make sense, and then we'll play it from here by there on what you guys want to hear next.